Welcome back to BNB Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the fascinating dynamics unfolding in the beloved soap opera that has captivated audiences for decades. Deacon's fatherly wisdom becomes Hope's anchor. In what promises to be a touching father-daughter moment, Deacon Sharp steps up to provide much-needed emotional support to his daughter Hope Logan. As Hope continues to navigate the turbulent waters of her personal life, Deacon's unexpected wisdom serves as a stabilizing force. The relationship between these two characters has evolved beautifully over time, notes one longtime viewer. From estrangement to genuine connection, their bond represents one of the more authentic relationships on the show. Hope's emotional state remains fragile following the devastating betrayal by Carter Walton and her own mother, Brooke Logan. This mother-daughter conflict adds another layer of complexity to Hope's already complicated life. Deacon's advice will likely focus on helping Hope recognize unhealthy patterns in her romantic choices, a valuable perspective given the show's history of fickle male characters who seem to change allegiances with remarkable ease. Carter's redemption arc, too little, too late? Despite Carter's recent mistakes, viewers have noticed a significant shift in his character development. His backbone appears to be strengthening, suggesting a potential redemption arc on the horizon. Carter's journey from people-pleaser to someone who stands firm in his convictions represents one of the more interesting character evolutions this season, comments a soap opera analyst. The question lingering in viewers' minds, will Hope still be available emotionally when Carter finally proves himself worthy? Their potential reconciliation hangs in the balance, creating the perfect tension that keeps audiences tuning in day after day. Meanwhile, Hope must also contend with Steffy Forrester's almost cult-like influence over others, as Steffy continues to promote a narrative that absolves Carter of responsibility while placing the blame squarely on Hope's shoulders. Steffy's influence, the power of perception. Steffy Forrester's remarkable ability to shape others' perceptions has created a challenging environment for Hope. The groupthink Steffy encourages has led many characters to believe that Carter lacks agency in his own decisions, a convenient narrative that protects him from facing consequences for his actions. This dynamic highlights the show's nuanced exploration of power, influence, and accountability within close-knit social circles. What makes this storyline particularly compelling is how it mirrors real-world situations where perception often trumps reality, explains a social psychology professor who studies soap opera narratives. Steffy's character demonstrates how charismatic individuals can reshape collective understanding of events to serve their own purposes. Luna's determination, following in Sheila's footsteps. Luna Nozawa's growing obsession with Will Spencer bears an uncanny resemblance to Sheila Carter's infamous past behaviors. Luna's refusal to abandon her pursuit of Will, despite clear signals that her attention may be unwanted, raises red flags for viewers familiar with the show's history. Her determination to win Will's affection at any cost creates an unsettling parallel to Sheila's previous stalking behaviors. The young woman's updates to Sheila about Will's behavior that gave her hope reveal the dangerous mentorship forming between these two characters. Luna's declaration that she won't give up carries ominous undertones, especially when viewed through the lens of Sheila's notorious past. Sheila Carter, the mentor of obsession. Longtime fans of the soap universe will recognize the striking similarities between Luna's current storyline and Sheila's infamous pursuit of Michael Baldwin on The Young and the Restless years ago. That triangular dynamic involving Lauren Fenmore created some of the most memorable moments in soap opera history, and the writers appear to be crafting a modern reimagining of this classic storyline. Sheila's role as Luna's advisor adds a particularly disturbing dimension to this narrative. With her extensive history of manipulation and obsession, Sheila represents the worst possible influence for the already unstable Luna. The intergenerational transmission of toxic relationship patterns makes for compelling television, notes a television critic. Watching Sheila essentially groom Luna to become the next generation stalker creates a psychological horror element within the soap's melodramatic framework. Thursday's episode, a pivotal moment. The upcoming Thursday, April 17th episode promises to be particularly significant as characters reload and rearm themselves, metaphorically speaking, in their respective quests for love, revenge, or simple self-preservation. The emotional stakes continue to rise as relationships form, dissolve, and transform in unexpected ways. This episode will likely serve as a turning point for several key storylines, setting the stage for dramatic confrontations and revelations in the weeks to come. The writers have masterfully balanced multiple narrative threads, creating a tapestry of interconnected stories that keep viewers invested in the show's complex universe. The Bold and Beautiful legacy continues. What makes The Bold and the Beautiful such an enduring cultural phenomenon is its ability to reinvent classic soap opera tropes while maintaining the emotional core that audiences connect with. By recycling and reimagining successful storylines from the past. Like Sheila's obsessive pursuit of unavailable men, the show honors its rich history while creating fresh content for new generations of viewers. As we continue to follow these intertwined stories of love, betrayal, obsession, and redemption, one thing remains clear: the bold and the beautiful characters we've grown to love, and love to hate, will continue to surprise us with their capacity for both tremendous growth and spectacular self-destruction. What are your thoughts on Luna's dangerous path? Do you believe Hope should give Carter another chance? Next, we will learn about the complex dynamics between the Logan sisters and how one particular relationship has fans buzzing with frustration and concern. The future of Ridge's happiness: can Taylor finally win? Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes appear to have found their way back to each other after years of on-again, off-again drama involving the eternal third wheel in their relationship, Brooke Logan. Viewers have expressed overwhelming support for this reunion, with many feeling that Taylor deserves her chance at happiness with Ridge after enduring countless heartbreaks. Taylor has waited patiently in the wings for so long, notes one dedicated viewer. She's shown incredible resilience despite Ridge repeatedly returning to Brooke. This time feels different though, there's a maturity to their connection that wasn't there before. The couple's chemistry has been palpable in recent episodes, with subtle touches and meaningful glances that speak volumes about their deep history. Production insiders hint that upcoming scenes will showcase more intimate moments between Ridge and Taylor, potentially cementing their status as the show's premier power couple. Their shared history as parents and grandparents provides a solid foundation that many fans believe Brooke cannot compete with. Fan reactions: the growing frustration with Brooke's pursuit. The online B&B community has been particularly vocal about their exasperation with Brooke's inability to accept Ridge's decision. Social media platforms have exploded with comments expressing fatigue over this seemingly endless triangle. One particularly passionate fan wrote, "What I really wish is for Brooke to have something happen to her, like she gets amnesia and she forgets she ever loved Ridge. She'd look at him and not give a damn. Now that would drive him insane, emo." This sentiment reflects a growing consensus among viewers who are ready for fresh storylines that don't revolve around Brooke's perpetual pursuit of Ridge. The writers appear to be acknowledging this fatigue by introducing subtle hints that Brooke might eventually find happiness elsewhere, perhaps with a character from her past or someone entirely new to the canvas. Speculation about potential love interests for Brooke has become a hot topic in fan forums, with names like Deacon Sharp and Bill Spencer frequently mentioned. Katie Logan: misguided sisterly support. Katie Logan's role in this emotional tangle has become increasingly problematic. Despite her own tumultuous romantic history that should have taught her valuable lessons about pursuing unavailable men, Katie continues to encourage her sister Brooke to follow her heart in pursuing Ridge. This advice comes despite clear evidence that Ridge has moved on with Taylor and has explicitly communicated his desire to build a future without Brooke. Psychological experts who analyze soap opera dynamics might suggest that Katie's behavior stems from her own unresolved feelings about relationships. Having experienced rejection and heartbreak herself, particularly in her relationship with Bill Spencer, Katie might be subconsciously projecting her own desire for reconciliation onto Brooke's situation. This pattern of enabling unhealthy attachment has become a focal point for viewer criticism. The psychological impact of Katie's advice. Mental health professionals often discuss how well-meaning advice from loved ones can sometimes perpetuate unhealthy relationship patterns. In Brooke's case, Katie's constant reassurance that Ridge might return to her prevents Brooke from processing the end of the relationship and moving forward. This creates a state of emotional limbo that keeps Brooke fixated on a relationship that has clearly run its course. The writers have cleverly woven this psychological reality into the storyline, showing how Katie's words of encouragement light up Brooke's face with hope, only for that hope to be crushed when she encounters Ridge and Taylor together. This cycle of hope and disappointment has become increasingly painful to watch, leading viewers to express their frustration with Katie's role in prolonging her sister's emotional suffering. Viewer pleas for a new direction. The audience response has been overwhelmingly clear. They want both Logan sisters to find new paths forward. One particularly poignant comment captured this sentiment perfectly. "She is the only Logan woman I like, but oh my God, stop telling her to try and get back with a man who doesn't want her anymore. He moved on. He's with Taylor now, leave them alone and let them be happy. If you can't stand it, then just leave it that simple." Another viewer expressed similar frustration with Katie's misguided support. "If you really loved your sister, you would tell her to move on, then try and be with someone who doesn't want her anymore." These comments reflect a sophisticated understanding from the audience about what constitutes healthy relationship advice versus enabling destructive patterns. The Bold and the Beautiful, a study in enabling behavior. The current storyline offers a fascinating case study in how family members can inadvertently enable unhealthy attachment patterns. Katie's continued encouragement of Brooke's pursuit of Ridge represents a common dynamic in many families, where loved ones struggle to deliver difficult truths. Rather than helping Brooke accept reality and move forward, Katie provides false hope that ultimately prolongs her sister's suffering. This portrayal of enabling behavior provides rich material for the actors to explore the complexities of sisterly love and misguided loyalty. The performances have been nuanced and compelling, with subtle facial expressions and carefully delivered lines conveying the depth of the sisters' bond even as Katie leads Brooke down a path to further heartbreak. What's next for the Logan sisters? As viewers tune in daily to follow this evolving drama, speculation abounds about potential developments. Will Katie eventually recognize the harm her advice is causing and change course? Will Brooke have a moment of clarity that allows her to finally release her attachment to Ridge? The possibilities for character growth and emotional revelation are endless. Production sources hint at upcoming scenes where Katie might witness firsthand the pain her sister experiences when confronted with Ridge and Taylor's happiness. This could potentially trigger a realization that her encouragement has been misguided, leading to a powerful confrontation between the sisters that could change their dynamic forever. Next, we will learn about the issue that's been setting the soap opera world ablaze with speculation and drama. The potential deadly consequences of a family feud. Could we be witnessing the beginning of another tragic chapter in the Bold and the Beautiful saga? Speculation is mounting among fans that Poppy Nozawa may have unwittingly signed her own death warrant by antagonizing one of the most notorious villains in soap opera history. The tension between Poppy and Sheila has escalated to dangerous levels, with many viewers predicting that either Sheila herself or even Luna might eventually eliminate Poppy from the equation entirely. Soap opera history teaches us that characters who repeatedly provoke known killers rarely survive long-term. Poppy's continuous confrontations with Sheila Carter demonstrate either remarkable courage or foolish recklessness, perhaps both. Veteran B&B viewers recognize the telltale signs of foreshadowing when a character like Poppy makes statements about wanting nothing to do with a cold-blooded killer while simultaneously provoking said killer. The writers appear to be laying groundwork for a potential murder mystery storyline, with Poppy positioned as the likely victim. This would create compelling dramatic possibilities. Would Luna side with her grandmother if Sheila eliminated Poppy? Would such an act drive Luna away permanently? These questions keep viewers tuning in daily. Sheila's psychological transformation. What makes this situation particularly chilling is watching Sheila's psychological transformation unfold before our eyes. That fascinating expression that crept across her face after Poppy departed speaks volumes about her mental state. For months, viewers have witnessed Sheila attempting to maintain her reformed persona, walking the straight and narrow path toward redemption. However, Luna's arrival in her life has fundamentally altered Sheila's perspective and priorities. The discovery of a granddaughter has reawakened dormant maternal instincts, but filtered through Sheila's damaged psyche, these instincts manifest as possessiveness and a willingness to eliminate perceived threats to her newfound family connection. Psychological experts who analyze fictional characters might suggest that Sheila displays classic traits of narcissistic personality disorder combined with antisocial tendencies. Her laughter while eating cake from her hand symbolizes her regression to earlier, more dangerous behavioral patterns. The metaphor of having Poppy eating out of her hand reveals Sheila's desire for complete control and dominance. The ominous warning signs. The most disturbing aspect of the recent confrontation was Sheila's reaction to being slapped. That bone-chilling cackle erupting from her mouth served as a warning sign that the facade of normalcy was cracking. Her verbal warning to Poppy to keep her hands to herself wasn't merely a request. It was a threat delivered with the cold precision of someone accustomed to following through on such warnings. Body language experts would note how Sheila's posture and expressions shifted during the confrontation, reverting to patterns seen during her most dangerous periods. The transformation was subtle but unmistakable to longtime viewers, the predatory gleam returning to her eyes, the slight change in vocal tone, the calculated movements replacing her recently more relaxed demeanor. When Sheila flung Poppy around the restaurant, she was demonstrating not just anger but a willingness to escalate to physical violence, a line she had supposedly drawn in the sand during her reformation. Crossing this threshold suggests that other, more dangerous lines could be crossed in the future. The restaurant confrontation analyzed. The physical altercation at Il Giardino represents a pivotal moment in this developing storyline. What began as a verbal confrontation quickly escalated to a food fight and then to actual physical violence. The absence of Deacon, who would normally intervene and potentially terminate Sheila's employment, removed a critical restraining influence from the situation. The cake-slinging match might seem comical on the surface, but it symbolizes how quickly civility can dissolve between these two women. Food fights in dramatic contexts often represent a breakdown of social norms and restraint, a visual representation of characters regressing to more primitive, uncontrolled behavior. Poppy's decision to slap Sheila a second time demonstrates either remarkable courage or profound foolishness. Most characters familiar with Sheila's history would know better than to physically assault her once, let alone twice. This repeated provocation suggests either that Poppy doesn't fully comprehend who she's dealing with or that she's so emotionally overwhelmed that she's disregarding her own safety. Luna's complicated position. At the center of this brewing storm stands Luna, torn between her mother and the grandmother she's only recently discovered. Poppy's comment about Luna sharing the same blood as her grandmother was particularly cutting, and potentially prophetic. By suggesting that Luna has inherited Sheila's darker tendencies, Poppy may have inadvertently planted a seed that could grow into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Luna's character development has been fascinating to watch, as she navigates the shocking revelation about her biological heritage. The psychological impact of discovering one is related to someone with Sheila's reputation cannot be overstated. Luna may find herself questioning which traits she's inherited, which behaviors might be genetic, and whether she too carries the capacity for violence within her. The suggestion that Luna herself might eventually turn against her mother introduces a fascinating psychological dimension to this storyline. Would Luna, upon embracing her connection to Sheila, be capable of such an act? Or would Sheila manipulate events to make it appear that Luna was responsible, thereby binding her granddaughter to her through shared culpability? Poppy's fateful decision. Perhaps the most telling moment in the entire confrontation was Poppy's declaration that Sheila could keep Luna and her assertion that she wants nothing to do with a cold-blooded killer. This statement reveals Poppy's fundamental misunderstanding of the situation. You don't simply concede defeat to someone like Sheila Carter and walk away unscathed. By essentially abandoning her claim to her daughter, Poppy has removed herself as a necessary figure in Luna's life. From Sheila's perspective, this makes Poppy not just an adversary but an expendable one. The soap opera narrative logic suggests that characters who become both antagonistic and unnecessary to the plot often meet unfortunate ends. Poppy's decision to give up and leave the fight demonstrates a failure to recognize the gravity of the situation. In Sheila's world, conflicts don't end when one party decides they're finished, they end when Sheila decides they're finished.